Hello everyone, good evening. And I hope that all the participants have joined. So I'll set up the context for today and how we are going to take it ahead. As the panelists are already aware, I'm Dr. Isha Maharana. I am an alumni as well of IIHMR Bangalore. I'm from the 2019 to 21 batch. And I've also been an assistant professor at the same institute. Welcome to the webinar. Thank you so much for taking out your time to join this webinar.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having us.
And just so that our participants can have a glimpse of how our institute looks like, I would request Prashant to start the campus video. And once that is done, I'll start with an introduction of the panelist, and then we can move ahead with the entire, like all the concepts and agenda for today.
Sure.
Yes. Prashant, can you please?
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Adarsh.
Thank you so much, Prashant. Moving on, I will now give a brief introduction of all the panelists. Post that, I will ask you to let the participants know more about yourself so that they understand what are they in for. So the panelists that we have today are Dr. Sandesh Sudhakar, and Dr. Sandesh is Key Account Manager, Corporate Accounts at 5C Network Private Limited. He's from the batch 2022 to 24. We also have Dr. Sushmitha Adike. She is Assistant Manager Strategy from Biological E Limited, and she is from the batch 21 to 23. And from the same batch 21-23, we also have Miss Monami Chakraborty. She is the Quality Head at Manipal Hospitals. Yes. So thank you once again for taking out the time to come for this. And I hope everything is going well.
Yes, thank you for inviting actually.
Thank you for inviting us.
Most welcome. So what I will do is I have a set of questions ready for all three of you. I will start taking the questions one by one. And in between, if the participants have any doubt, they can drop it in the chat and we can choose to either address it then and there or towards the end of it. So Dr. Sandesh, may I start with you?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Okay, sure. So, one major question that I also keep on getting from the students as an alumni, as a faculty as well, is that from academics to key account management, how do you navigate the shift from classroom learning to handling large corporate clients in the healthcare imaging space? Because theoretical study is one thing, but when it comes to actually practically handling the clients, how did you navigate this entire shift?
Okay. So the best answer for this is the one which I listened to my seniors and it did was join a startup, because even though startup comes with a limited package, so I went for a startup even though the package was less, because the amount of exposure what we get when we join a startup is amazing. Because when we go for a very well established company, the scope of work or the exposure will be very much limited. Since I joined a startup, it was very much new. The company was new in the market. The product was not very much known, and I was very much interested in sales. So I was a single person for the whole Karnataka region. As I said, there were hardly 5 6 people for whole India. So I learned A to Z sales cycle, how it works. So starting from going to the field visit, well, usually sales works in such a way, there is something called as inside sales and outside sales. So since there was no such department as such in the company where I joined, so I used to do from inside sales to the field sales also, where I used to go and meet people. If you have, when it's an established company, we usually get information where the customers reach out to us saying that there is a requirement as such. But when it's a new company, we don't have those benefits. So I had to reach out to each hospital, talk to all the surgeons, pitch my company and the product what we are selling. Do something cold call, that is talk to all the surgeons and check who the decision maker is. A decision maker is not everyone. So in sales, there's something called a decision maker. For example, if a hospital say has around 10 surgeons, there's one surgeon who's a decision maker who is decided based on number of surgeries he performs in a day, or the revenue generation in that hospital is based on that particular surgeon. So talk to them. Then once he says that is interested in the product, then talk to the technician or a nurse, just cross checking is there a requirement of device as such. Go and talk to the supply chain and procurement department, checking when the sell is going to happen. From here to started giving demos by myself, where I started, and it's very important where you get to know demo giving skill is very important, and that I started doing. Then after that, meeting every client often, so that I develop that relationship and rapport with the customer, to negotiation, where I get the check from the customer as well. So I got this opportunity of doing everything. Along with that, since there was no distributor in the company, so my boss advised me to get in touch with distributors. So I started checking the distributors in the market through India Mart, get their contacts, meet them, talk about my product. Then I developed with rapport with them, where I got to know where the requirement will be, because they'll be having strong market network in the market. So since
True.
I did this A to Z selling cycle in the company, that helped me in growing forward a lot, because as I said, it's all about exposure, and I got a very good exposure. That is what I would say. So I would recommend everyone to join a startup, even though the payment is less. That is definitely going to boost the career in the future.
Absolutely, I completely agree with you because I also have worked as a key account manager and I do relate completely with all the pointers that you have said, be it working in a startup to networking and to relationship building. I believe when we are talking about account management, relationship building is one thing which everybody has to keep in mind. So, Dr. Sandesh, was this the first company that you joined after you graduated, or you were in some other company and then you switched to this?
No, so the first company which I joined was by name WinGlobe. It was a startup company. They
Okay,
manufacture medical devices. So
okay,
I joined over there and I worked around for 6 7 months. And I said I had a very good exposure. So I got, initially it was just Karnataka. It was allotted to me. Then they handed
okay.
over to Kerala and Salem also. So I had a very good exposure. So this is the second company where I'm working in. And my CEO, now the current CEO of my company, Mr. Anand, there is a global CEO. The only question what he asked me is that why he should hire me. So when I explained him the whole thing what I've done in the previous company, that helped me in joining this company. Now I take care of the whole India operations. So that is how it was beneficial for me.
Absolutely, experience works.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much for your answer. And moving on to Dr. Sushmita. So, Dr. Sushmitha, the major thing which I noticed when I saw your profile was that you work in strategy. Now, strategy is something that a lot of students probably don't understand. So, I would want you to describe what strategy looks like in your current organization and as per your profile.
Yeah. Um, People don't understand strategy, but they want to get into the role of strategy because it sounds fancy.
Exactly. It sounds very cool that, yeah, I work
Yeah,
in strategy and partnerships, but then they do
exactly,
not
exactly.
understand what strategy actually
But
means.
actually, the word is very simple, but the in-depth process is very huge. Actually, in
Absolutely
fact,
not.
after getting into a strategy team, even I have worked with Mankind in the strategy as well, where my role was limited though, but I could see what all the things were happening. So right from the acquisition of BSV, how did that happen, the entire process, and also what factors they consider into, while they're acquiring a company, or post that also tracking the all the the brands, or how the company the trends are going. That is a different picture, because strategy again depends on many factors. It also depends on the size of the company, and
True.
what was the vision of the founders initially, because that is where the actual strategy comes from. What are they focusing on? So right now, if we look into biologically, from the initial, their focus was only vaccines, because that's how they have seen into the future, because vaccines is definitely going to be the future of the entire world, actually globally, if you look at, because all the treatments whatever are coming, that might be for the curing the disease, but for prevention will always be the priority. So that's how they have looked it into the future, and that's how they have paved the way for the company and its long-term strategy goals. So since then, they have been focusing on vaccines production, and they are also shifting towards biologics as well right now. They are looking into options of exploring the biologics. So that ways they are only always keen into the vaccine space. And later, since they have a good credibility in the vaccines, and they have built a brand of biologically as a complete vaccine company, so now using that credibility only, we are also penetrating into the Indian markets, the domestic markets. Apart from only vaccines, we are also having the branded formulations. So that was the entire idea behind setting up a domestic strategy team, so that we can explore many other what other molecules that we can come into, be it an in licensing or new products launch, or existing, how do we increase the revenue of the existing products, where do we have to do the corrections, how do we have to streamline everything. So these are the all the things that go into the strategy. So that's how it is, and right now I'm into that transformation that is going on, as I have already told Dr. Sandesh as well in the starting of the conversation we had. Yeah.
Understood. So it's pretty interesting strategy and how all these things work and how
Actually,
there is
what I
no.
have told is very brief, actually,
Oh,
but in
yes.
depth, there are many other different cross-functional teams are involved. All the, revamping of the entire marketing teams or cross-functional. If we want to, streamline everything also, we have to take a lot of things into consideration. So that's how it is going.
Absolutely. There is no one size fit all solution. We have to take
Yeah, yeah,
the,
true.
like the short term vision, the long term vision, what the
Right.
founders want, what the audience actually needs. We have to consider all of that and then
True,
actually
true.
customize and build a strategy.
Right.
So, Dr. Sushmita, how was your journey like?
Mine, I will totally go with Dr. Sandesh, what he started with. Working with a startup is definitely beneficial. I started with Pharmarack, which was a startup. When I joined the company, it was a team of, I think, hardly some 50 people. It was a merging of the company that happened. The new entity had only 50 people, and our department had only like 10 or 15 people, I would say, including the support team. So there I had like in just 2 years, I had got an experience of almost 4 to 5 years. That robust it was. Since the team was very small, we had to, get into each and everything. There is nothing, there are no boundaries like you have to do only this one. So you only do the client servicing, you have to take care of the data, you have to take care of the backend process, all these things. That was very good exposure which I got, and that's where that had paved me the way into strategy, because I started as a manager commercial. Due to the reason of getting into strategies, that using the data and how can we draw the insights, that was more interesting for me. How can we give the insights to the company to formulate the strategies, on a long term vision, the projections that happen for the next 5 to 10 years. This is how we look at the company's progression, growth progression. So later then I came into Mankind, and in Mankind also, since it's a listed company and big departments and all they have, there my role was limited. But in biologically again, since the team is expanding here, it's only me and my reporting manager who are in strategy right now. So we have to look into all the functions, even right from the business transformation to the marketing activities. It's a very hands-on job, and right now I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. It's a
Oh,
complete
good.
mix of
Happy to
everything.
hear. Yes. Not a lot of people can say that about their jobs. It's
Yeah,
good. It's great that we are able to say
right.
that.
Yeah,
And one thing, I believe I completely agree with this pointer that there are no boundaries in a startup. You have to wear multiple hats.
correct.
And one of the major plus pointers is that people who actually like to work in a startup, they are more than happy taking those roles. Because in one company, you are actually getting to understand, while a larger, a stable, settled company has their own different pros. I think for startups, this is one of the major
See,
pros.
both have their pros and cons. It's not like working in a big company is not, it is only limited role and all, but that culture difference also, you can see the
Absolutely,
kind of
absolutely.
working, everything will be different. So yeah,
Yes. So I believe at the end of the day, it boils down to what is it that we are looking for ourselves? What is the kind of work
right.
culture? What is the kind of roles that we want to get in?
True.
Yes. Thank you so much. Moving on to Miss Monami. So I see that you are the quality head at one of the major hospitals in India. And my question to you is going to be about the misunderstanding around quality. Usually, when we think of quality, there are a lot of people who would envision documentation, that quality is all about, like keeping everything structured and documentation, making sure that everything is meeting the set standards. So
True.
how would you explain that that is a part of what quality is, but that is not it, and what is the
Correct.
real role of quality?
Okay. Absolutely, what you said, it's correct. People think or people misunderstood. That is like everything has to be written or everything. But altogether, quality is all about your people, process, and mindset. That is which have to be kept on mind. And documentation is just the thing which we look for is the evidence, not to save or not to pass the NABH, but to save themselves, kind of. It's a
True.
medical legal thing which we talk about, like a doctor, if they are not signing properly, they are not writing the timing or the date of the progress notes, then I think we are someone who is trying to save our healthcare professionals who are actually doing this. They must be done it. But as per quality, if it has not been documented or if I have not been evidence it, for me, it is not been done. So in quality, that's what we are looking for. But end of the day, we all want to be a patient centered care, which we also looking for. And everybody, I think tomorrow if one of my colleague or one of my family member get admitted, definitely I will look for that care has been given properly. And the system improvement, it is nothing to blame someone that till now why it has not been done or why they are not doing. Everybody or every organization is having a scope of improvement. Being in a quality, we are just trying to improve ourselves every time. And the data driven mechanism, like yeah, there is just startup if we don't have that kind of data. But in quality, when you works, the entire hospital data which you maintain, and then you should have some analytical skills to take the decisions on your base data, and the culture of safety altogether. So quality is all about the culture of safety. It has been misunderstood by we have to write all, we have to every time document. It is not like that. It is to save our healthcare professional. We ask them to document it. That's all. Yeah,
Understood. And to make the entire process more patient centric, you have
correct,
actually used a very beautiful term, culture of safety.
correct.
Because at the end of the day, all of us are looking for quality, but probably somebody's definition of quality can be different. So until
Yes,
and unless we set up a benchmark, how do we define it? And until
correct,
unless we
correct.
document everything, how do we pass that knowledge on? Beautifully said. So, moving on to Dr. Sandesh again. In your first answer, you mentioned relationships.
Mhm.
And as you have been in a growth, a revenue generating vertical, it's very like it's very much understood that results are also very much important. So, what do you think? What skills actually helped you stand out in the early days in your role? Because right now you are a seasoned professional, but when you were starting as a student, what specific qualities do you think helped you?
Okay. So this is something which I learned only after being on the field. And first 6 months, it was a completely learning experience for me. And first account where I was working, I failed in that. I lost the account. So it's more of a learning process where, especially in the sales domain where I'm in, it's more of a craft where you keep on improving on a daily basis. You learn, you lose, you relearn. Then it's a daily thinking process. And the skills, I would say, number one is confidence, which helps in the result, because when I talk to the CXOs now, it's they give me hardly 5 or 6 minutes when it's an initial engagement, and it's very important. I'm being confident on the company or the solution what I'm offering. So that is number one. And in the result, second thing which is very important is, as I said, the demo giving skills or the product knowledge, because that is also very important when you're sitting in front of the customers and you're talking about the product. If I pass in that demo giving skills or the pilot study, I would say that is 50% of the work is done. And the third thing is the constant follow up. It's very important, because in sales what happens is that there are three categories. One is that the immediate sales, where the hospital will be waiting to get it, or it's something called as intermediate or a medium term sale, where it takes around 2 to 3 months, or a long term sale where the hospital doesn't even have the budget, they're still thinking of buying it. So a lot of patience is very much required, where you wait for the right time. I think these three things, if we have, and you should be ready to lose also, because in sales, if even if I'm able to reach 30% of my sales funnel, it's a good result, I would say. So these three skills will help me, this helped me in gaining my results, I would say.
Understood. Yeah, very much understood. Because in sales, you have to be ready to handle all the challenges that come your way. And
Mm,
you also have to be ready for both the possibilities. Either it's going to be a yes or it's going to be a no. If you get a no, then you understand that what did not work over here. And
mm.
then you move on. Right. Very well said. Yes, moving on to Dr. Sushmitha again. I would like, because I believe at your time, pharmaceutical management was not a separate specialization,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So, and still we see that you moved into the biopharma and the vaccine ecosystem. So, may I understand how was your process like? What was, what was it that triggered your career direction?
So the major reason I was inclined towards pharmaceutical management, though it was not a separate specialty, because I wanted to stick to my roots. I have already finished my doctor of pharmacy, so I thought it's better to get into the same direction. And also, I would say healthcare industry and pharma industry are the ones which are like very stable and safe industries. There are no lots of up the it would be a I would say the growth trajectory or the growth will be very slow, but it is a stability is there. There is some safety and stability, and I wanted to stick to pharma only, and that's how I have started. And through the IHMR campus only, I got into the placements also, and from there I got into the data analytics first, the market research and market insights in the pharma rack. So there I had a lot of exposure, meeting the clients and learning their perspectives, how the company, like kind of strategies they make into, you how to use the data and how the strategies run around the data, and from the secondary data and also their internal insights, everything combined together, what kind of decisions they are taking. So since we were a third party for them, we had an unbiased opinion that we were giving, that this market is growing, this market is not growing, this is what the competitor is doing. So these kind of interactions with the clients and also looking at the data, I really love doing that. So that's how I have also shifted and then into mankind. It's nothing like biopharma and vaccines, it's the opportunity which I got actually. And strategy is strategy, it doesn't have anything to do with vaccines or biologics or any other thing. The domains might be different, considering the products, the kind of products which are there in each of the companies, that will be different definitely. But the what we look at mostly is the numbers. What is the growth projections that we are planning for the next 5 or 10 years? For that, what could be the changes that we have to bring in? So these kind of things mostly are the ones which cater into the strategy team, I would say. The biopharma and vaccines, that would remain. It's just a change in the domain that I have taken. That's all. It has next I might go to some other biologics company also, but that would make no much difference. The core ground basic work on the strategy would be the same. The products must differ, and that we can learn every time we change a company. Learning about their products and their internal things, that will be definitely different, and it would vary company to company.
Understood, for
That's
sure.
how.
So basically, your central point has been strategy and the
Yeah.
areas pertaining to it, your love towards data analysis and all of that.
Right. Right.
Okay, fair
Yeah.
enough. Yes. And Manami,
Yeah.
so as we also touched upon in the last question, that you probably deal with a lot of compliance audits and patient-centric improvements every day. Can you
Correct.
please discuss about some, like some challenges that you face on a ground level?
Yeah, great question. That challenges is a big thing, for when comes to a
The first
quality.
thing that you should know about before entering into any line.
Yes. So in hospital, wherever you will be getting question, there is always a challenge. Like finance is a person who is a culprit for everyone, and quality is a person who is a culprit for everyone, because we are the person who go and question them. So
True,
first
true.
of all, that is a
Absolutely.
major challenge, I think. So compliance understanding among people, they don't understand actually what is the compliance about, what actually we are looking for. We are not trying to meet any of the standard, like we have to meet NABH standard, everything. It's not like that. What is your organization say actually? Even NABH has not given any hard and fast rule that you have to follow this, you have to follow that. NABH also says whatever your hospital SOP tells, the standard procedure of your hospital, that has to be followed. So people do not understand. They always feel like it has been written, so it has been followed. No, whatever you have written by yourself in your policy, that has to be followed. And which is not like a rocket science that cannot be followed. That is easily being followed, can be followed. But people don't do that.
True, true.
That is one thing. And then the question comes, and then they are not like little more get agitated or don't like us. That's the main point. And next, the thing is, might be in the participants there will be a lot of doctors, but still I will tell that the doctors documentation, so they don't try to write, or they don't have an intention to write. They're always having some kind of lethargy. They will do everything clinically, definitely they have done everything there, they have tried their level best to do. But when it comes to the documentation, they are always lethargic to do that. So that is one thing, that documentation fatigue, they don't want to write it. And resistance to change, that I believe, because every time we are improving. See, now NABH also came from 5th edition to 6th edition, there will be a lot of changes. So they have lot of database all over across India hospitals. Then only they are changing in their standard. So if they are changing something, that means they have something, and they are trying to change just because of our improvement. But they still, people are resistant to change, that okay, we have to follow this. They always feels like it is a burden to follow something. They don't feel that okay, it is something has to be done, or something has to be met. And data collection without analysis, so we do always collecting a multiple set of data, but we do not actually understand for a particular project or anything we are took for, but what is actually data which is we are requiring. They will be having lot of database, but people will having the lot of understanding, lack of understanding, that which data for what purpose. And variability of practice, because when we come to in a hospital setup, there will be lot of doctors from different backgrounds, there everybody's practice will be different. But when you are working in a hospital setup, the hospital or organization will have certain goal to meet it. So we should, every all the consultant or all the doctors should follow that same goal to meet that. So when that doesn't happen, then that's a problem. So the variety of people comes in the hospital, where the quality takes a role to make them understand what is organization goals, to align them with the organization goals. So yeah, these are the major challenges, 5 6, which we always face.
Understood. And yeah, so the thing is that the major reason of me asking this question is
Yeah.
that students, and specific, we would remember our times also. I think this was the first thing which would come in our head if we are looking for a role. That okay, what are the problems that come in this role? Every
Yes,
job comes with its own challenge.
correct.
And I personally believe that it is very good for a student to understand those challenges much better.
True.
And who else is a better person to answer than somebody who has already traveled that path?
Yeah.
Yes.
But
So, Dr.
one thing I would like to say that once people will have a confidence on you, that yeah, you are telling something for their betterment, or when the external auditors will come, and you will also try to save them, to make them understand, okay, this is why I was telling for whole year to maintain it.
Yes,
Once that understanding comes, no, they
absolutely.
automatically get aligned with you.
Yeah,
So
because we
yeah,
also have a tendency of falling back in our own practices, right? That
correct.
once, if some sort of accreditation is there, we are working very hard for it. But as
True,
soon as they leave,
true, true.
somewhere we also have this tendency कि चलो ठीक है यार आज नहीं तो कल हो जाएगा कल नहीं होगा तो परसों हो जाएगा somewhere we have this tendency, so
Correct,
it's
correct.
good to be on our toes and to make sure that we are following a schedule properly.
True.
Very well said. And Dr. Sandesh, on that same note, I would like you for you to share an incident with us, because with growth verticals comes a lot of negotiation.
Mhm.
So sometimes negotiations are going to be there. Sometimes some challenging client is going to be there. So do you remember any specific incident which you can share with us where you had to deal with a specific negotiation or a challenging closure sort of an event?
Yeah, so one of the interesting incidents which I think of is so when I was working one of the first companies where I worked in. So I started getting networks where I started meeting people who sell other products to the same to the hospital. So by
Okay.
which I started getting information like, for example, in that particular hospital is have recently opened, the doctor is ready to purchase, or the owner of the hospital is ready to purchase something like that. So I got an information that in one of the hospitals, the hospital is open, even the operation theater is open, the doctor is going to make a purchase in a 1 week, something like that. So immediately I went and met the doctor. I spoke to him. I was confident in the product or the solution what I was offering, even though it was completely new to him. He patiently listened to me and he said, "Okay, he'll get back to me," which will never happen. The customer will never get back. So when I inquired, I got to know that the doctor was looking for references. He's not a person who's going to buy something new in the market. So the good thing which I was doing was that whenever I used to give demo to any of the surgeons or any of the doctors, I had a habit of collecting feedback from them. So I got to know there's one common doctor who's close friend of his to whom I'd given a demo to and had a feedback from collected from that particular doctor. So 3 days after that, again I met him. I showed the feedback form demo. He had a look at it and he discussed about the features. And suddenly the conversation started. And he said, "I really don't want to buy your product because I can buy something which is 50% less than this." And that is when I started talking about the technicalities of it or the competitive advantage what I have compared to the other product. Immediately asked me. I think the conversation went on for around half an hour, and immediately asked me what is the best rate I can give it at. So the whole situation changed from saying I don't want to buy to asking the exact amount for which I can sell it for. Even I tried to negotiate hard and I discounted by 5,000 or something like that. And he immediately wrote the check. And I think, he wrote a check and I was out in 45 minutes. So from going from a conversation from saying that I don't want yours to getting a check, that was something which I learned.
Yeah, and that requires a lot of convincing skills and a lot of confidence on self, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you're new in the market.
Oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely then. True. And Dr. Sushmita, similar question from you. Can you please share any project where you personally felt how strategic decisions can impact outcome significantly? Any area, operations, research, markets.
So right now I'm a part of a project where, we are trying to identify the gaps that are there within each department. So that has been done by an external consultant. We have hired someone to do it, but we have given them a background like this is what the outcome has to be. What are the gaps? They need to identify what are the gaps. As I have previously mentioned, a third party opinion is always unbiased. Within the company, if we go and tell them that this is not working right, you have to change this, they will never listen. And so that is why we had to take the help of an external consultant who is doing a project for us. where we have designed it together along with them. Each department wise, they have the interviews set up. Like uh, they will have their set of industry. They are industry experts only who has been in the industry for like 40, 50 years now. He's a very old person who is with his team. He's doing the project. So interviewing the each department, understanding their perspective, what are the challenges they are facing, and they also bring in the industry perspective from outside, like a company of our size or even the bigger ones to benchmark. They will have the industry expert or other industry people opinions, and they suggest us like these could be the areas of improvement which already we are aware of, but we want a third party to tell the people that this could be the areas of improvement. So that is one operational or as a business transformation thing that is right now going on. Apart from that, from the other departments, I was not a part of this project, but I have seen the outcome has really come out well, which is the incentives app that the team has developed, one of the commercial excellence team. It is used basically to track the performance of the field force on a daily basis. So it is given to the field force as well. It's an application that they have designed, putting all the data, what is the weekly performance, because for the field force, incentives are the major, very, very important for them.
Yes, yes.
What are they up to? What is the target? What are they up to in this month? How much they have to do? So that very handy application for them. It has really helped out. It's been 2 months since the it has launched. We have seen the results also very excellent. It keeps the field force motivated more. Like, okay, I have this many more quantities to go this month to achieve this incentive. So it keeps popping up the, like, if you finish this much of quantity, this is what the incentive you're going to get. So this kind of project, which has been rolled out already, it is already in place, which is motivating the field force to work more actively, proactively, take up the different kind of activities, or they are coming and getting back to the, marketing people also giving inputs from the field, like this is what is happening, we can do something like this different. So that change has, we have seen, noticed that change in a month only. So that is one other project. And market wise and research wise, that keeps, it's a continuous process. Whatever the changes that are, what we will be studying the markets, we keep continuously looking at the markets, which are the growing markets, how are the competitors doing, can we enter into the market if we are not there. This project is a simultaneous parallel thing. Since we look into the, I look into the new launches and the portfolio management as well, I also have to look into what are the new molecules coming in, which are going off patent, or which is a potential molecule which fits into the R basket of, products which are already existing, which will complement the portfolio much better. So this is a continuous thing which is going on. Yeah. So this would be the areas where, the research and all these things will be going on.
Got it. And strategy does have a direct impact over which direction you are going into, and probably
Right.
the ROI and the exact areas, they can be backtracked at a later stage
Yeah.
when we
Right.
are actually analyzing what has happened, what has worked, and what has not worked. Very well
Right.
said.
So because once we start a project, we will have a projection or aim that, okay, if we are doing this, this would be the outcome. So
Yes,
once the project is done, we have to keep tracking the outcome. So this is what is expected. Is it coming out the way it is expected, or is it not? Or what was the gap? We have to reevaluate again. And that's how if we are rolling out a project, then all these things have to be in consideration. Yeah.
true, true. That is there.
Yeah.
Yes. So, Monami, one
Yes.
incident from you as well. Can you please share an example of quality improvement which directly impacted patient outcomes or probably operational efficiency?
Yeah, so I will try to give you two examples.
Sure.
One operational and one is directly to the patient outcome. Like first would be the medication error. So first we have something called as medication reconciliation. So
Okay.
if patient is a hypertensive patient,
Mhm.
patient is already taking amlong or something, some medications patient is taking, but still patient came and got admitted in the hospital. So we have something called as patient medication reconciliation, where our clinical pharmacist will go and check patient is on which are the medications already. So they have
Okay.
to mention first so that the drug duplication reduce and the adverse drug reaction also reduce. So if you have patient is already taking amlong and we have not asked him to stop it, and again we have prescribed amlong, the patient might be taking it twice or thrice, might be, because as patient would not be knowing that what we are giving in the hospital. So as in hospital, it first priority is the safety, so we should be first reconcile what are the patient is already on medication, so that we don't repeat those medications or duplicate those medication. That is first one thing, and which through which our adverse drug reaction can be reduced, or our medication error can be reduced, drug duplication can be reduced. Yeah, that is one thing. And second would be the operational efficiency. I would say the discharge stat in a hospital.
Okay.
In India, all the hospitals are facing only one issues. Even the patients, while they go to hospital, getting admission is not their scarcity anymore.
Discharge
They
is
are
the major
having,
problem.
yeah, their major problem is discharge. So once the doctor will say for the discharge, they will be when they are going to leave the hospital. So which one, if you have enough skill or enough data in your database, then you can do a lot analytics. You can use multiple quality tools to make people understand, to set a process, to make a benchmark, and how the process flows. So that is something I'm working on from my last organization, and now also I'm working for
You
another
need to solve it because nobody wants to stay in a hospital 1 minute, then it is necessary.
Correct.
You
True.
want to leave the
Once the
hospital as
money
soon as
has been paid by either patient or the insurance, they just want to
possible.
leave the hospital. That's all.
Yes, yes, absolutely. All of us have been at that place. Either we have been there or somebody that we know has been there, but we really, really want to leave the hospital as soon as possible.
Correct.
And unfortunately, this is the part which takes the most time.
True, true.
So,
No
yeah,
doubt.
please do work on it. And the day that you find a solution, we'll make it big.
No, I
Yes.
previously where I have worked on, we have tried our level best. So for cash, we have done the discharge within 2 hours, and that was the benchmark which has been set over there. And now also they have improved a lot. So now we are more focusing on planned discharges. So prior one day, the doctor should tell that okay, this patient is ready to go for tomorrow. If there is no any challenges for the night for any clinical reason, otherwise everything has to be done prior one night or night completely, so that next day just we have to do the medical discharge, doctor will come visit, and we will, the patient is ready to leave. So that is what we are working on right now.
Best. Yes. And so I'll take a moment to discuss about why particularly this webinar series was started. So this started in 2019, and coincidentally, I was the first host for it. And the entire reason that we started it was so that students, potential students, or somebody who is confused about their career options, because a lot of medicos also come for this, and for them, it is a major change from clinical to non clinical. And then there's a bunch of students who are not coming from the medicine, from the healthcare background, but they're extremely interested in healthcare. So for them to understand, and no matter how much our teachers keep on telling us that this is what you should do, that is what you should do, it is a set standard that we listen to our seniors more. If our faculty asks us to do certain thing, we might not listen to them. But if a senior says, Kia, these three topics you have to prepare if you have to sit for the interview, for sure we are going to cover those three topics, right? And the major trust comes from the fact that they have worked the same path. And that is why this entire series was created, so that if alumni are discussing this amongst themselves, a lot of other students might get better clarity on it. So, on the same note, I would want, let's start with Dr. Sandesh. I would want you to tell our participants and potential students, anybody who is currently seeing this webinar or probably later will look at it, what what competency do you think that like a student should start building by themselves and in the college, which can help them be where you are today? And in addition to that, what do you think IHMR Bangalore contributed, or how has it supported you in building those particular qualities?
Okay, so number one, I would say confidence.
Okay.
So especially when you are new to the market, and the first thing what we the company looks at is how confident are you in your talking. So especially when you are in IHMR classes, when the professors ask you for an answer, where you're supposed to stand up and answer in front of 100 students, be open. Even if you're going wrong, and even if you don't have an answer for it, you can stand up and always talk whatever you know of. And whenever the professor is asking you for to present something in the on the stage. That builds the confidence, because when you're in front of the customer, the first thing what they look at is, are you confident about the product which I'm representing? So that has to be there. Number two is open to learning, because since I'm in sales, it's very much, because every account, every customer, every sales cycle is different, because the sales is something which is not there in the textbook. So we should be very much open to learning, because it's a kind of craft where we master on a everyday basis. Number three is patience. Have a lot of patience, because especially I take care of corporate accounts, so the results are not immediate. So because the Manipal, who's our client, so when I used to visit Manipal Millers Road, where Miss Monami is there, it almost took 1 year for me to crack that account. So lot of hurdles, because when the corporate is there, there are too many stakeholders, and even if one stakeholder says no, the whole account goes for a pause. So you need to have a lot of patience when you deal with corporate accounts. Good communication skills, very much important, because and it's very important to have a very good network of very good information of where the healthcare expansion is happening, who are the key stakeholders, where are they sitting. So for example, when I spoke to Monami, I immediately connected saying that I met Dr. Rudresh and Dr. Niranjan Rai in a hospital. So very much important. And I would say most important competencies, I would say, be very well versed in Microsoft, Excel, PowerPoint, Word, which the IHMR campus used to tell. So since I'm from an MBBS background, I was not much into all these things, but they forced me to learn all these things, and now it's definitely going to be beneficial, because I do these kind of things now.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I am also completely aligned with this. I come from a BDS background. I did not know the E of Excel, but I was forced to
Yeah.
learn it. And then I realized when I started my job that that was the most one of the most important things that I'm glad that I actually worked upon. So yes, I completely align with all the pointers that you have said. And Dr. Sushmita, similar question from you. And if somebody has to work in your area, strategy, what are the kind of qualities that they have to develop, and what is the kind of roadmap that they can probably envision?
First thing I would say is I would continue where Dr. Sandesh has stopped his conversation. Is one thing is learning the tools. That is nowadays, if you look at anywhere, any industry, it's not going industry specific. It's going with the people who are well versed with the tools. They don't care if you're from pharma or if you're from healthcare. They pick up someone from the IT field also, since they know the complete knowledge of the tools. And also one addition could be you be more interested in learning the tools, different tools like Excel. These have become basic now, but apart from that, if you are entering into strategy, and if you want to go into the analytical roles, so there are many other tools that have come up like Tableau, Python, all these, which will be helpful in building the dashboards majorly. See, that's how the strategy departments are working these days. We don't spend much time in, preparing the Excel sheets and everything. So we have a team who also prepare the dashboards for easy visualization. So one part would be that one, and another would be question and counter. Whatever you having a discussion, if you're sitting with the team, you have to question why is this way. When you start asking questions and countering their this one, and also brainstorming in both ways, that's when more new things will come in. So when you have your opinion put forward and the other person questions you, you have to be in a position to support your answer. How is this possible, why is this not possible? So that ways you have to broaden your mind in a very different way, think in a different way. And one addition would be reading more of the industry articles, what is happening in the industry, because strategy is a department where you're sitting, people will expect something new from you. So you have to put in a different angle or different perspective. Array, today this article has come up, so this might be. You never know what kind of insight you're giving, and what kind of thought will spark in the opposite person. You might say something that, okay, today I will go and say that this dengue vaccine or some different vaccine has come into the market. The company might think, why don't we license it, or why don't we go and approach them? So these kind of conversations, you will not have any idea that this will lead to this, but it will definitely does. So don't stop
Absolutely.
yourself from putting your thoughts. At the same time, don't go and question your managers right after joining. Why is this and that? That would not be the right way.
Yeah, give it some time, understand
Since
it
I'm
first.
telling you to question more, that
Yeah, yeah.
putting forward your opinion in a different way, that would be helpful. Like, you give
Right.
your opinion, but don't go and question them directly.
Right, right. This is what I also actually tell the students, that give it some time.
Yeah,
Understand the process first
observe.
and then ask the
Right.
questions, because asking the right question is also very important.
Very
And I
important.
believe that is where the college plays a very important role. This 2 years that you have, you ask as many questions as you want to. You
Right.
ask the right questions, wrong questions. No question is going to end up as a wrong question. Give answers, as Dr. Sandesh also said. It does not matter if you're giving the wrong answer. You just have to
True.
stand up and talk.
Right.
So while you're in the college, there you can experiment with all these things. But when you're working, you have to be very, very aware of
Yeah,
what
you
you are
have to
saying.
observe your manager also. He's the person who can take criticism or a no or a suggestion or a why from you. Don't just go and
Absolutely.
flirt in front of
This
him.
is a very good life tip for everybody who is going to
Yeah.
be in this particular area. True, true, that is there. And yes, Munami, what do you think? What is your input for the students if you want to be in quality? What is it that you should come prepared with? What is it that the job will prepare you for?
Yeah, so I also will add on to both of my fellow speakers. Like, they should not restrict themselves till the classrooms education or learning. They should also learn about the analytical skills and the understand if they're really interested into the quality, or learn about things, then how the government or regulatory bodies are expecting what they're expecting from us. That is one thing to understand. And then communication, yes, you have to be always diplomatic when you are in quality. So you have to be always like, yeah, you have done it very well, but this could be done it in this way also.
Better way.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so you
True.
cannot tell them no, this is not the right way. You have to be little diplomatic, so you have to definitely work on your communication skill a lot.
True, true.
And the process, for the process improvement, which we work on a lot, like quality improvement projects, for that we have multiple set of tools which they should learn, like 5Y analysis, the PDCA, the fishbone analysis, so Lean Six Sigma definitely. So I
True.
am a master black belt, I also have finished it. So you have to understand actually lot of quality tools. And then if you want to go in the and change in management, definitely, so you have to understand what is your actually management looking from you, and you put that correct in front of them. And innovative ideas, so people have a resistance, so they always think this is the least thing which we have to do or we have to work on. But yeah, putting in a right way and make them understand. No need to do it in a very hard work, but yeah, in a smart work. So for that, I think lot of analytical skill and communication which has to be worked on.
Yes, absolutely. I'll just take a moment to remind the participants, if there are any kind of questions that you want to address to us, you can drop a message in the chat. And while they do it, I would like to reiterate that I think all of us, all the speakers along with me, have the same pointers, that yes, communication is a must, confidence is a must, learning the tools is a must. And
Yes.
I would take the liberty of expressing this, that probably you might not have learned all these things in your graduation, but the college gives you a platform. The college gives you a platform to learn it, that okay, these are certain skills that you have to learn so that you are job ready, so that you are industry ready. So yes, thank you so much for sharing all of your thoughts. And while they are probably considering and pondering if they should ask a question, I'll just ask a general question from you. Already working in the field of AI, and all of us are already seeing how AI is changing the entire landscape and how things work.
Dr.
In
Isha,
your
actually, your
respective,
voice is cracking. I
Yeah.
think there is some network connectivity issue. We could
is
not
it
get
better?
what you have. Yeah, yeah. From the past half
Okay.
of that, what you have been telling,
No
it's not
worries.
clear.
I'll just rewind it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So I was asking that Dr. Sandesh is already working with AI in that particular landscape, and all of us have already started seeing how AI is changing and probably disrupting the entire way that things used to work before. What is your thought on it? We can start in the same sequence. Where do you see, how do you see AI transforming the entire healthcare landscape? Dr. Sandesh.
Yeah, the way it's going to impact is huge. But so I work for AI in radiology. So the gap where I'm working is that We know that in a large share of hospitals, be Manipal, Fortis, anywhere, the radiologists are overburdened with the work because now the radiology is considered as one of the cornerstone where evidence-based medicine is carried out. So before the treatment starts, every doctor, treating physician wants a radiology report so that they can make the diagnosis. So that is where the whole thing is going. So AI, what that can do is that kind of offload that work from them so that they'll be able to focus more on more complex modalities, say the complex CT, complex MRI, where AI can help them give a pre-read for a no. So what AI does is that the AI model in radiology where I work is that we have done annotations analysis where as soon as the AI model receives, say for example, any X-ray, it gives pre-read within few microseconds. So when I say pre-reads, it's so what it does is that for example, if a radiologist can do around 20 X-rays in an hour, with the help of AI, he can do 100 X-rays in an hour. Reporting, I would say, because AI gives you 100 pre-reads in 1 hour. What he can do is just validate, sign, and send it off. So, because statistics say that around 60 to 70% of the X-rays on a daily basis are normal, 90% of the health checks reports are normal, so that the in-house radiologist won't spend their time reporting normal X-rays. And most importantly, the hospital can work with the same amount of radiologist. So this is where, so what AI is doing in radiology is that one is that offloading that work from them and help in scalability. Because even quality, if I'm right, the TAT says the report, once it's ready, it has to be given it to the patient with NABH mandates committed, defined committed TAT, which most of the hospitals are not able to do it. That is where the AI comes into play. So definitely it's going to change a lot. But what's happening is that when we say AI, especially in radiology, the doctors are kind of scared because they think it's going to take away their jobs. So the management and operations very much open to it because it's going to be beneficial when it comes to quality also and scalability. But the radiologists are kind of scared because they think it's going to take away their job, but it's not so because it's kind of supporting them. It's not going to take away the job as well. Not at all. Along with that, the one more space where AI is coming is where when Miss Monami spoke about discharge summaries. Before, everyone used to sit and type. Then it came something called a speech to text, where everyone used to talk and the discharge summary used to get recorded. Now there's something called as voice bionic AI coming up, where you just mention the significant findings in the discharge summary, then the rest of it gets generated within few microseconds, so that the discharge summary time is also shortened by significant time. So definitely AI is, I think in the next 2-3 years, there's going to be significant changes in AI in the hospital sector when it comes to AI. And even now the corporate hospitals wants that AI tag as a marketing feature also.
Understood. Yeah. Very well said. AI is actually taking over. There are multiple different ways in which it has transformed. And yes, that fear is also real.
Yeah.
But I read this line somewhere and it stuck with me that AI is not going to take over your job. But somebody who understands AI better than you,
Yeah.
they might.
Yes.
So the
Yeah,
best thing to do is get a certification done, learn something about that so that you are up in the ladder.
absolutely. Dr. Sushmitha, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I would go with Dr. Isha on this actually, because today, if you look at the chat GPT also, if you have to use the chat GPT, there is again, you have to learn how to use it.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So, and from a strategy perspective, I would say AI intervention would be a 50%, and the thoughts of yours would be 50%. You cannot completely depend on the AI. It will ease your work to some extent to get the actionable insights easily, like transforming the data into, readable way. That would be one way where the AI fits in. But apart from that, I would say, and I have been looking at also, if you want something, and if you're using the AI, like if you say for some different perspectives of looking at the data or your insights, if I'm using a chat GPT or anything, the kind of insights that come from that would only make you think in a different way, or whatever you're thinking, some additional points might come in, but it will not give you a complete picture, definitely. And what you have told, absolutely, it is not that AI will replace your jobs or anything. It has nothing to do with that. You improve your intellect and you think in a different way, that AI will definitely, it's a machine or it's an artificial intelligence that would never match to the brain of a human, and the kind of different perspectives that come in. So once we have a group of discussion, that kind of things or the inferences that we get from a group discussion would never come from the AI, I would feel totally.
Absolutely.
So
Yes, yes.
yeah,
It can definitely help ease your
yeah,
work, specifically in the
surely
strategy
that.
domain.
Yeah, it will
Yes.
it will reduce the time you're spending on the other things which don't require that much of time. But apart
True.
from that, I would say it's a 50-50% that
True, true. It
has.
may increase the
Yeah,
efficiency at the end of the day, but then
surely.
you
Yeah,
definitely cannot counter the effect that we can get by brainstorming, specifically in
right.
strategy. True.
Yes.
Monami, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, matlab in future AI would going to take a lot of things, like from, if we will see that our efficiency will be more, definitely, no doubt in that. I have seen, when I also, my background is a nurse, so when I was a nurse, I was working as a nurse, I used to take, for one patient to take vital checking, it at least takes 2 to 3 minutes to check our vitals. Now, if we will go and see, there is something called as dozy bed, where the
Hmm.
patient will be lie down on the bed and automatically your vitals will be captured. And if there is something early warning signs which has to be go to the staff, it automatically go and pop up that staff that patient vitals is not normal. So they are automatically getting notified on that. So yeah, like that, there are a lot of things. As Dr. Sandesh also told, there is something called as text to voice to text, so they will just speak on voice. As doctors, they have always a rigidity to type it on write it. So yeah, that would definitely help us. Next, we have nowadays we are facing a challenge. As per our standard, doctors are visiting every day to the patient, might be, but they are not writing the notes. So if they are not writing the those, they don't feel anything to be write it. But what, as we expect that at least patient is stable, this much you can write. So if they have tendency to forgot also, the pop-up will come automatically that they have forgot to write the put up the notes. So the doctor will just put up this, and then we that will be come to a compliance. When come to a compliance thing, the manual compliance to automated compliance, like as a quality, we handle a lot of statutory, a whole hospital statutory maintaining is not that easy thing. So yeah, now we have something called as compliance dashboard, where we upload all the statutory requirement, and whenever there is some license which is about to expire, 3 months prior, I used to get a notification that this license is going to expire after 3 months, so please apply for it. So this is how the AI is helping us to developing a lot of dashboard through which you can actually understand. One data analysis take a lot of time. Might be some days where I used to do the retrospective audit also, but now with this AI, we are doing prospective audit, which is taking a lot less timings, because as soon as doctors is writing in the notes in the everything in documented in EHR, everything is automatically getting compliant. So for us also, compliance rate is more higher. Then we are also very happy that okay, they are writing it. So in this is how, and the integrated decision system, so that is also which help us a lot. So once the dashboard is readily available in front of you, you know what to do, how to give a thought on that. That is something. And I think the hospital quality is all, where the technology compassionate, all safety, and it will be more efficient. Might be for a discharge, there was a time where to just type the discharge summary, we had something called as MTs, medical transcriptionist. Now when we used to have, previously we had four people, now it has reduced to person, only one person. So that is because it is helping us out. So we are also can manage with the resource and efficiency more. So yeah,
Yes,
AI
yes.
is helping us a lot of
Absolutely. I
multiple.
believe
Yeah,
resource optimization is one thing. Resource
correct,
optimization, operational efficiency, those are certain things where, specifically in areas like problem strategy and quality, those are, like that is where we can look at.
correct.
Okay, so on that point, I would like to wrap the today's sessions up. And it has been a very insightful session. I do not see any question in the chat box, but if the participants have any doubt, Joyce ma'am, I would request you to please drop our email ID so that they can reach out to us. And participants can also get in touch with me on LinkedIn. I'm Dr. Isha Maharana. All of us are alumni, so if you have any doubt, you can probably reach out to us, and we'll try to help you as much as we can. Yes. And thank you so much to the panelists today for being a part of this again. And it was
Thank
a
you.
wonderful conversation. I had a lot of fun while doing it. It was
Mhm.
extremely insightful for me as well.
Thank you for inviting
Thank
us,
you. Thank you
Dr.
for
Isha and Joyce ma'am, for making us part of the panel. Thank you.
Absolutely. You're most welcome. Pleasure is all ours. Yes. Okay, then. See you hopefully soon. You take care. Have a great day. Thank you so much.
Surely. Have a nice
Sorry.
evening. Bye.
Thank
You
you.
too. Bye
Bye.
bye. Hello, everyone. Have we stopped recording?
Yes, ma'am. Shall I stop now?
Yeah, you can stop recording.
Yeah,
And
sure.
the participants